Abuja come back now on a President Mahama State of the Nation address.
I'm sad to report that the state of our nation is not good.
You talk about normal or Ghana.
The public debt, which amounts to a staggering 721 billion cedis.
Video we focus on normal about the attack normal enkoye or Ghana.
Apotro one you who ne
Yes, starting from the energy sector, but be a ECG shay. Also say no, on by a proper metering and billing, send a bay light here who used to know, and then I bet you hoka.
Following my directive, the minister has set up an advisory committee to guide the participation of the private sector in metering and billing in order to improve efficiency in revenue collection. And also reduce the high commercial and technical losses that are threatening to drown the state-owned utility company.
And then at the higher end of things, but be a generating electricity and casano. Crude oil and fossil fuel you use to was here about switching from that to gas.
We also aim in the medium term to achieve 100% gas utilization for power production and to eliminate completely the use of crude oil and fossil fuels. This will save Ghana hundreds of millions of dollars spent on the importation of fuel oils for power production annually.
You know, say right now electricity bills were cry with the new meters, Ni speech in yes, keep on agriculture.
Mr. Speaker, Ghana has fertile lands, abundant water, and human resources. Yet we face a paradox.
Also, Ghana, you know, buy a craft free outside the back Ghana and Kwani, Afibiani, and spend over $2 billion.
Our food import bill continues to soar, reaching alarming levels of over $2 billion annually. The Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda will modernize agriculture, enhance agribusiness, ensure food security, it will lower food inflation, it will boost exports, and create sustainable jobs. The Feed Ghana program will increase food production and reduce prices through projects like the Grain Development Project, focusing on rice, maize, and soya bean production. The Vegetable Development Project will target crops such as tomatoes, onions, and pepper. Our Poultry Farm to Table project will eliminate poultry imports and increase local production.
Baby, me plead to the Greek ministry and say there should be a path. Normal Ghanaians say on a higher scale kakrano. There should be a path says skank de kwa kranoma from the outside the bakrunum no. Those farmers no subetimi anya kwanya or betimi at least ajanya says canibi. Because Ghana farmer bi owo so many big acres and acres of lands. Ebi obedua bro betwani nyina wie no like 10,000 bags of maize. But there is no proper path to that Greek ministry. Obetimi aseli ade na ma Greek ministry. Nanka importation nka swati. Everybody say nipa na fedi we are what no be so bread to even sell it. Abra Ghana for here there but nam say obi o ministry won say kra no ma ne ba obenya ne kakra o that side ntino normal Ghanaian ne bebre obedo afuo no na fedi onye obi obeto no ma na even do say bi wa Ghana no still na say e kokra bi ba o ti ase ntini if say there is a path say ne be ya normal workers wo Ghana omu do no omu no mani wi a from the government side of things, I think they can because according to President Mahama, your poultry, the same Kokonama, you import to Krade Ghana and Kwano, you import about 95%.
Ghana imports 95% of its poultry needs.
That amounts to about $300 million every single year,
which costs over $300 million annually.
So imagine saying Ghana for your team produce like 40% of poultry goods.
To reverse this trend, government plans to revamp the poultry sector by investing in hatcheries, feed mills, processing, and distribution. The Nkukwan Kitinkiti project.
If you ever wanted to get into poultry farming, now is the time. Just as I get in a poultry farm, a delicate business.
We actually have a project called Nkukwan Kitinkiti. The Nkukwan Kitinkiti project will cover 55,000 households producing eggs and fresh poultry for the market.
And I feel about youth unemployment.
One of the biggest crises we face in this country is youth unemployment.
President Mahama said Ghana youth, about 2 million of them, and now we unemployed. But now my embassy, your modern
the latest estimates show that up to 2 million of our young people are unemployed.
And our Operation Recover All Loot.
As part of our Operation Recover All the Loot policy, I've already tasked our investigative bodies to bring the culprits of the National Service Ghost Name scandal to justice. Such brazen theft of public funds must not go unpunished.
And China National Service Scheme, yes, say ghost names, yeah, payroll over 80,000 people. I no na abosumi bia na government need lose about 50 million Ghana cedis.
It is estimated that the criminal addition of some more than 80,000 ghost names could have yielded the suspects over 50 million Ghana cedis every month.
And that is from just one agency, NSS. But man for a cancer scandal and hunyina or say a bit more than every country num or moon for wanted into a munina so or moon trace your more assets, no moon freezing which means or more scan but won't mean you so until say investigations into them no are very.
Unfortunately, some of these suspects are believed to have absconded from the country already. Directed that they be declared wanted.
But all these people knew all these things. They want to be daddy. So, I'm back of our tracks, at least some of them. And as they say, our national service, and I say, yeah, but short military training because boys will be Jimmy.
We will introduce short military training as part of our national service scheme.
But yeah, be discipline. So at least with that, I think it's about why you instill discipline in some of the youth.
This will instill a sense of fitness and discipline into our youth.
This idea, I think, is in Japan and they buy, but at least Mahama implement, and it was he's ready to listen to Obi our good ideas. That is some good news.
We'll facilitate the training of our young people in the Okada business. We will introduce electric motorcycles on a high purchase scheme to eliminate the use of petrol and make their businesses more profitable.
People with disabilities, tertiary education, to say university, training college, free.
Her Excellency the Vice President's Empowerment for Women and People with Disabilities program will also be launched this year. This year, the Ministry of Education will fully implement a new curriculum for senior high technical schools and STEM schools, introduce a standardized national sign language for hearing impaired learners from kindergarten to SHS, and review the kindergarten and primary school curriculums. The no-fee policy will also cover all persons with disabilities. And for emphasis, persons with disabilities will pay no fees for tertiary education throughout their study.
And by was say teachers here, you be post to rural areas, those teachers get allowance of 20%. Which is good news.
Government will begin plans for the implementation of the 20% allowance for teachers who agree to serve in rural schools.
Because imagine that what's not crowd whole life. Now for the year to baby, ya to tell them chira could be ase, and now said what to zulezo. One cow tirimpa. A bit difficult to stay in those places.
District assemblies are going to be involved in this scheme to ensure that the teachers are present and teaching in the schools that are selected. This scheme will reward such teachers for their sacrifices and ensure quality education nationwide, not only in urban centers.
Right now with this, at least there must some kind of an added something small be at their account salary. So at least that is better than kind of the current state. As
part of our Teacher Dabre initiative, the construction of teacher accommodation units to improve welfare and attract teachers to rural areas will commence this year.
And when it comes to education, President Mahama say, see new schools be our Ghana until before the basic school Yes, be a teacher for one bar or better first.
No new school will be built in this country without teachers' accommodation.
And send your basic school, see, which is good. Because yeah, your parents are supposed to do a cover, be nothing now, and I'm time, and now do being changed. Sometimes you'll be on a penny, sir. So if the government and be providing normal way, I think it's awesome. And I saying, see, free SHS policy and a program, no.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, once again for emphasis and for the record, I, John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, will not cancel the free SHS program.
Well, there is your answer.
I will not cancel the free SHS program. I am determined to make it better by improving its implementation.
Oh, we are not sending NPP for him. NPP for your campaign. Now the fact is, a man for benefiting from free education, free SHS, no, 5.7 million. Or in the speech, they clock 5.1 million. But your campaign with banners and everything, say 5.7 million. But no, could a woman say 3.4 million, not the 5.7. And now on one speech, 5.1 million now.
And also, for the record, students who have benefited from the free SHS since its inception are about 3.4 million. The figure of 5.1 million beneficiaries, as put out by the previous administration, was an exaggerated and false narrative, calculated to achieve political credit.
The education minister then, or to where was unity. But I've seen articles, yes, that is a one casa minister was say, and yet 5.7, but 3.5 million. The fact is that Mahama can't 3.4 million, no one can 3.5 million. A one problem.
Beneficiaries are benefited free SHS. 3.4, said your Mahama can't, 3.5 million beneficiaries.
Chama we grant interview am kazo abeka say oh figures no kra nya sa na ye bia 4.9 million. Wait, what waste your time for nothing.
Enti wo mo a e brief no wo mo ma ne brief yi.
But we are say double track system. Na school nkura na yesi bi be ko na bia tena fie na asefo no. Obetra ye ni nyina afiri ho.
The double track system remains a challenge, and we are committed to eliminating it.
Enough of education. We dey Magraheb health or say hospitals e wo Ghana. Sometimes no more program do what replace the equipment those hospitals no. But last time major replacements yes those equipments no. The last time I buy those equipments no 2014 time no wa bam. Nti say see on no wa ba no normal best.
The last major hospital equipment replacement program was undertaken in 2014 when I was president. Since then, most hospital equipment in the Ghana Health Service facilities have deteriorated or broken down.
NPP for Agenda 111. So we see 111 hospitals. No? Mahama said there is no funding source. Those hospitals. Anywhere. Your dedicated is okay. As soon as I see this way bar, near you say
I'm sad to note that there is no dedicated funding source for such a gargantuan project.
And that Agenda 111 hospital nekrano muba pe and they completed. But
for the record, as I speak, not a single Agenda 111 hospital is operational. In any part of Ghana, I challenge you, not one is operational.
And the shocking part say for the Agenda 111 project, according to the books, yes, say sky yet towards that $400 million.
It is worth disclosing that $400 million has already been disbursed under the Agenda 111 project.
And that $400 million, almost spreading across all the 111, which doesn't make sense. Because according to President Mahama, as if says a hospital back will take $18 million in the DBC, and Senka Anya Shekradi, 22 ready hospitals are from the Agenda 111 free.
At a rate of approximately $80 million per hospital, this $400 million spent could have completed and made operational at least 22 of those hospitals.
But then I'm spread this kind across 111 hospitals in Intino. Scanning in Ayabasa, hospital na, and Kwankuziaga, Yentimia Bakumpano, Niebianoa, Mpakureni.
I have directed the Minister for Health to present us with a plan on the way forward for this program. And let me add that we are open to public-private partnerships and franchising to complete and operationalize these hospitals.
I want MPP for more battle and say, Mahama talk about that is any or na ye now buy and ano was sacking nurses. Say nurses in the hospital bed there, Juma. Tika nurses and penny hospital and come up with Yajuma and say, hey, politics.
Apotro one, you who tinting.
We about Ghana, we good for you. Mahama show baby a women's development bank, which means a bank here, a mama bosia to start businesses. Like interest rate was never from better than any other bank in Ghana.
And as part of our 120-day social contract, the Minister for Finance is going to allocate initial funding for the Women's Development Bank in the upcoming budget that will be presented to this House.
Finance Minister Baba must speech on that on the 11th March or bar or Mecheska or whatever two banking or whatever status adiano. To do your bow Ghana, making sure that you know about Yajuma, so Yajuma.
We're also implementing measures to expand the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty program under our Big Leap initiative.
Then the Black Star experience is a good one. Time I name me Resoma said, never be the of the Black Star experience. I'm like, come on, where there's some creativity in a dear Resoma. But Mahama Kasafa, okay, this is a good thing for Ghana tourism.
Our flagship initiative, the Black Star Experience, aims to establish Ghana as the gateway to Africa for the global diaspora, featuring thoughtfully curated cultural, historic, and creative arts experiences in collaboration with the private sector, diplomatic missions, ministries, departments, and agencies. Our aim is to position the Black Star Experience as a uniquely Ghanaian tourism brand.
Abuzia, if it's implemented properly, it's going to be huge, Ankasa. Because I've always said, Ghana, your tourist sites, baby, if they can manage it properly, Abuzia, Ghana, benya from tourism alone, no, so this puts attention on that. That is good.
The Pan-African Month will be a part of the Black Star Experience. It will include street carnivals, a film week, a fashion festival, a food fair, theatrical and drama performances, concert party competitions, and monthly domestic tourism destinations.
President Mahama said, "Nanado na bansi omu constructing over 13,000 kilometers of new roads."
While the previous government has made lofty claims about achieving unprecedented milestones in the road sector, available evidence does not support its assertion that they constructed over 13,000 kilometers of new roads.
Okada obabe commercializing or to say taxi.
As part of our government policy, the ministry will amend the regulatory framework to regularize the use of motorcycles and tricycles for commercial passenger transport.
National Airlines is saying Ghana Airways, MPP for last attempt to try and
the last attempt by the previous administration to re-establish a national airline has failed. The water sector in Ghana faces considerable challenges, including illegal mining activities that contaminate fresh water sources, rendering them unsafe for drinking and agriculture. This alarming situation highlights the critical need for a decisive and ongoing effort to combat illegal mining, to save our environment and our public health.
Affordable housing, say you see that the amount for any boy from than the market price,
This government is steadfast in its commitment to complete all ongoing housing initiatives, beginning with the Saglemi Affordable Housing Project.
And the workers are formal sector come 15 to 20 years. I'm more retirement. Workers
in the formal sector, public or private, who have about 15 to 20 years before retirement, can purchase and own a house in cedis and have the cost deducted monthly from their salaries until the house is fully paid up.
And also what by corruption, state capture, or better to us here.
During my campaign for president, I pledged, as captured by the NDC's 2024 manifesto, to take a strong stance against corruption. Mr. Speaker, we must end state capture. We must end the purchase of state and public assets such as land and other immovable assets, by members of the political class. Mr. Speaker, I pledge to fight corruption head-on.
Because corruption, our operation recover all loot, oral, they buy.
One of the first committees I established, even before my investiture as president, was to establish the oral committee on the sidelines. It is instructive to announce that the committee received over 2,000 complaints from the public.
Passport application, so do passport to renew requesting for new one. Or better try, I said the maximum. We bring our passport on the back, be at least in 7 days. Because of this, into the mobile new centers across Ghana.
Mr. Speaker, we will expand passport application centers nationwide to reduce processing times to 7 days.
And then some of these centers are going to work 24 hours, which are a bigger part of their 24-hour economy.
These comprehensive reports at the passport office is going to align with our vision of a 24-hour economy.
Abusia Mahama speech in the wa o kasa che ye dodo. Ti ogusu kasa na duru ba bia na fun ye dum light.
Mr. Speaker, Ghana's economic challenges are not insurmountable. They present the government and everyone else the opportunity to innovate, to reflect, review, and reset, which is the theme for the commemoration of our scaled-down 68th independence anniversary.
About 1 minute krama and a lights in the bar back.
Every Ghanaian, regardless of political affiliation, background, or status, has a responsibility to play a key role in nation building and work towards a complete reset of our country.
After 1 hour 52 minutes, and a President Mahama then the 2025 State of the Nation address, ban away.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for this opportunity. I thank honorable members for your kind attention. May God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.
After ordinary speech in Berry and how a debut on Speaker of Parliament, Fred, the majority leader. So, Bibi Kaka home, Nasa or Bebwa, Jenny, the house to a different data. Majority leader Kasawi and a minority leader so Kasai, which is a penal marking. Senkan, Sema Mahama can any be an Yanokorano, and can dispute no. Bounty any a final marking can. No proper dispute of a Sema Mahama can. Agua and Sema Mahama can, it's indisputable bisano. Sema final marking can bakuni.
But it is clear that his strategy is if less, more divide. You have appointed few ministers, but more and more and more presidential staffers and more committees.
Wait, another one here.
The president again came to this house with a familiar story, the usual lamentation. Mr. Speaker, if the president has any concerns, his duty is to fix it.
Another one soon here.
The president has announced to us a cabinet of 19 with only 2 women. The daughter of the founder of this NDC, Senator Rollins, is missing.
But after the Parliament House inside, on Mupie and almost sent to us my speech, and almost Mahama Boroska say in some Mahama with education, and yet 3.4 and 3.5. Who tells them Mokana and yes, and be a more Druzo, Mahama Bairo, Detro, and as sing. You get me? But NPP for the press statement that said coming Tuesday, 4th March, or Mwankasa the proper State of the Nation address, Beba. Now the Mahama Beka and the one kind. So right now, I'm just having to put together their facts. And then Omobe Tribe be rebutting the ABA President Mahama Kekan. We are here to see Omo the another bar. We will do a proper reaction, taking into account your more can before and then your can during that.
The youth of the NDC besiege the headquarters of the NDC demanding for jobs. Where are the jobs?
But after everything, Honorable Speaker Alban Bagbin today went to Facebook in regards to the speech now Mahama Meba and say Ghana, once an African icon, is at one of its lowest points, facing massive decay. However, President John Mahama's address is rejuvenating, instilling confidence in a swift recovery, resetting our course and restoring a more rewarding investment climate and social justice. As a passionate advocate for persons with disabilities, I am particularly pleased with the bold move by the government to make tertiary education free for persons with disabilities. God bless our dear nation, Ghana. So which means that even Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, on feeling here, Mahama kind, because some of them say Mahama kind, it gives you hope. We are hoping there. Newakano, and now how na draining no money in city. Ya me babu no na fe de ni nyina bam na timi aboa Ghana na yakoyeni. That is the end goal, not party, but Ghana. Tap send the numero uno mobile app abusia betimi dia send this car command dofo e wo Ghana. So wo Italy, wo Germany, wo Europe, wo USA, wo even Dubai. Na person send this car the brand dofo wo Ghana. App we so use tap send. Kwa Apple App Store and Google Play Store na kwa download no right now for 2 phones so. Because how they send this car command dofo bia yanti we levy untuashe exchange rate in was so it's fast, it's secure, it's all the good things and mouth trouble. Omu security a top notch and I first time I could download the app now you see they send this car. Ubo code Magraheb Shema depending on baby I want you better see a chewska I'm at the car was sending on. Dear Bujas only starting use tap sender may conform our neck. Even no more mobile wallet I was your bet me load do no with ska. The times was I was send this kind of command for Ghana. Na nyafe na be connected to bank. Dabi. Oh tap wallet no. The fast na is what send ko. Tap send the abusia min can form enough. This is when you use tap send ya. Ko Apple App Store and Google Play Store na ko download no right now.
Tap send. Papa no.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for videos like this every day. Till we meet again abusia. Adios.